The Bank of Canada's policy interest rate is the lowest it's been in 2.5 years. At the same time, the U.S. is waging a tariff war against Canada. I'm speaking with buyers and sellers daily, and they're all asking me the same question. What does this mean for the Toronto real estate market? And my answer is that it means different things for different people. For some, it's not the right time to make a move. They should sit back and hang on to the real estate they have if they're able to do so. For others, there's actually an opportunity right now for them to make a move that they'll one day look back upon and be happy that they did. In this video, I'm going to show you who I think should be buying right now and why it might or might not be the right move for you. If you're new here, my name is Jason Bondy-Sawyer. I've been a realtor in the city of Toronto since 2006. And I make educational videos like this one here to help buyers and sellers navigate the Toronto real estate market. If you want to book a call with me to discuss your plans, you can do so using that first link down in the description. If you find value in this particular video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so that you see more of our videos in the future. Okay, let's get into it. We'll start by addressing what I think is at the forefront of everyone's concerns right now. I'm talking, of course, about tariffs and about the economic uncertainty that comes along with them. We know that whenever there is uncertainty, people tend to put a hold on making big decisions. And of course, real estate falls into that category. Now, if you're someone who works in an industry that is going to feel the pain of these tariffs, and if your job security is uncertain right now, then taking a wait and see approach when it comes to real estate might make sense for you. The tariff news seems to be changing on an almost daily basis right now. And of course, it's tough to make a big decision when you're not confident about what your employment situation is. On the other hand, if you work in an industry that is going to be able to weather the storm and your job security isn't a concern, then you should be at least open to the idea of making a real estate move sooner rather than later. First of all, affordability is better than it's been in a while. Buyers' purchasing power is roughly 20% higher today than it was 15 months ago at the beginning of 2024. But average sale prices haven't really increased significantly over that time. Here's a chart showing what's happened with the average sale price in the GTA. On the far left of the chart here, we start with November 2020. You can see here in February 2022 is where prices hit their peak. But you can see that since June of 2022, yes, the average sale price has bounced around a bit, up and down. But if you were to draw a straight line through that, you'd see that we've more or less been hovering around the $1.1 million mark. And if we zoom in a bit here, you can see a closer view of what's been happening since January 1st, 2024. Now here's a table showing what's happened with the Bank of Canada's policy interest rate over that same period of time. We were at 5% at the beginning of 2024. We've seen 7 consecutive decreases since then, and we now sit at 2.75%. So interest rates have come down, but prices haven't really gone up. But history shows us that it's not going to stay that way forever. We will get to a point where the lowering of rates encourages enough buyers into the market that we start to see inventory tightening up. And when the news around tariffs starts to stabilize, we're going to see even more buyers starting to make their move. And remember, when inventory tightens up enough, that's when we start to see that upward pressure on prices. Now keep in mind, the condo market is going to take quite a bit longer to warm up than the freehold market is. And that just comes down to the simple fact that there is so much inventory in the condo market right now. But it will eventually happen. In addition to improved affordability, we also have more inventory right now. Looking at this table here, you can see that in February, we had 4.84 months of inventory in the Greater Toronto Area, 5.07 months of inventory in the city of Toronto. 1 to 3 months of inventory is a seller's market, 4 to 6 months of inventory is a balanced market, and anything over 6 months is a buyer's market. Now keep in mind, these are broad numbers that cover the GTA and the city of Toronto as a whole. If we break it down by home type, we see that the majority of the inventory is actually in the condo market. You can see here that the detached market is relatively well balanced, whereas the semi-detached and row house market is quite a bit tighter and is favoring sellers. And then the condo apartment market is favoring buyers. So the condo market is where there's really an unusual amount of opportunity for buyers right now. If you're someone who's been renting and waiting to make that move up into your first condo, I really think that you should be out there exploring what your options are right now. This means connecting with a mortgage broker and getting a solid pre-approval, connecting with a realtor as well, and getting out there and starting to see some properties in person so that you get a sense of what you would be in the market for. As I mentioned earlier, if you have job security right now, you've saved up enough for a down payment and your closing costs, and the monthly cost to carry makes sense for you, then there really are some excellent opportunities out there right now. The key to all of this, though, is that you should be buying with the long term in mind. These are not the days where you buy a condo and then you sell it 12 to 24 months later and you make a whole bunch of money. Time in the market is what it's all about. And it's not just condos. There is opportunity in the freehold market right now as well, despite the fact that it's not as well supplied as the condo market. Like I mentioned earlier, the detached market is actually fairly well balanced right now. So that's an opportunity to buy there without the pressure of so many multiple offers and offer dates like what we're seeing in the semi-detached market. And if you're moving up from a semi-detached into a detached, you can take advantage of the fact that you'd be selling in a market that favors sellers while buying in a market that is more balanced. But even the semi-detached market offers opportunities right now as well, especially if you focus on properties that have been sitting on the market for a while. Maybe they don't show that well, they didn't stage, the photos aren't great, maybe they're not priced where they should be. These are the kind of freehold properties where the seller might be willing to sell for less, compared to a property where they've done the proper preparations, pricing, and marketing to get the best results. Now, if you're focusing on the hottest semi-detached and row house listings, just know that there's very likely going to be competition from other buyers for those houses. But I do still think that buyers in that segment of the market are going to benefit from the fact that so many other buyers are continuing to sit on the sidelines right now. So yes, there is plenty of competition in that particular segment of the market, but less so than there otherwise would be if we weren't dealing with the tariffs right now. So you really have to ask yourself, am I the kind of buyer who needs to wait until I see things starting to heat up again to make my move? Because we have to acknowledge that there are buyers out there who just are not comfortable making a move until they know for certain that prices are starting to trend back upwards. But there is a price to pay for that certainty, because you're essentially looking back into the rear view mirror and seeing that the bottom is behind us now. And you'll be jumping back into the market at a time when a bunch of other buyers who are waiting are jumping back in too. Either way, just make sure that you're looking at all of the angles and you're making a well-informed decision. Don't focus only on negative headlines, assuming that it's definitely not the right time for you to make your move. It might not be the right time for you to make your move, and that's okay, but make that decision from a position of strength, knowing that you've fully explored what your options are. Okay, if you're thinking of making a move in 2025 and you want to connect with a real estate expert that can help you create an action plan and a strategy for doing that, book a call with me using that first link down in the description. Over here are a couple of other videos you want to take a look at, and over here is a link to subscribe to this channel. That's it for now, and I'll see you next time.